Phil, will you lead it? You lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks. Roll call.
Mark Serbrook,
Present.
Craig Scott,
Here.
Charles Wiltie,
Here.
Roger Mayhew,
Yes.
Jenny David.
Here. Approval of the agenda. Any additions or corrections?
No, make a motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
Motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Serbrook. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, declarations of conflicts of interest. Any commissioners?
I do not.
I have none. None.
Item 4, review of minutes, February 27, 2025, regular meeting minutes.
Make a motion to accept them.
Support.
Motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Wiltie. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4B, February 27, 2025, closed session meeting minutes.
I've read the minutes. Make a motion. We approve them.
Support.
Motion from Commissioner Wiltie, support from Commissioner Scott. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4C, March 6, 2025, Committee of the Whole meeting minutes.
Make a motion. Support.
Motion from Commissioner Scott, support from Commissioner Mayhew. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Want a chance on this one?
Item 4D, March 6, 2025, closed session meeting minutes. Those were all presented in front of us.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Support.
Motion from Commissioner Serbrook, support from Commissioner Wiltie. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, public comment and agenda item manners only. Any public comment in the room? Any public comment on the phone? No public comment on the phone? Item 6, correspondence. We received correspondence from Livingston County related to support for local control. Presque Island Electric Gas Co-op related to support for fiber to the home network. They were requesting a letter of support.
Good work.
Are we going to discuss that
You can.
at the committee of the whole? Okay.
Sure.
And then Wellvance related to meeting minutes and notice. Those were all on our iPads. Item 7, consent agenda. Let's just take these individually. There's only 2. Are you guys okay with that?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Item 7A, resolution to accept a proposal for medical examiner services. This resolution is sponsored by Administrator Controller Timothy Delahoney. Section 1 of the County Medical Examiners Act requires that the Board of Commissioners appoint a county medical examiner to hold office for a period of 4 years. On October 17, 2024, the board approved a motion to terminate its previous contract for medical examiner service under terms and conditions of the agreement. A request for proposals was subsequently issued seeking proposals for a successor agreement. On March 6, 2025, the board reviewed 2 proposals for medical examiner services received in response to the RFP and concluded that the proposal submitted by Mid-Michigan Medical Examiner Group was best suited to meet the needs of Ogemaw County. Approval of the resolution will, 1, authorize execution of agreement with MMMEG to provide medical examiner services for a period of 5 years at an annual cost of $63,720, plus a subsequent 4% annual increase in January of each year. 2, appoint Dr. Paul A. Wagner of Chief Medical Examiner for Ogemaw County to a 4-year term ending on February 28, 2029. 3, appoint Dr. Rudy Oaks as Chief Deputy Medical Examiner for Ogemaw County to a 4-year term ending on February 28, 2029. And 4, to establish a fee of $50 to process cremation authorizations.
Make a motion that we approve the resolution as presented.
Motion from Commissioner Serbrook. Support from Commissioner Mayhew. Discussion. Phil, do you have anything to add to this?
I think it's gonna be great. We've already been working with them and they're Johnny on the spot.
Any further discussion, commissioners?
I have none.
I have none.
I think it's gonna be better to go with A or B.
This is the one that she recommended, the 63,000 and then,
This is the a la carte kind of thing.
yeah,
The A.
Pay as we go.
yes, yeah, the A one. First one,
And
she,
what was the other one?
lump sum,
Right, but how much?
96,000.
96,000.
Can I make a quick comment?
Go ahead.
Yesterday, we had a meeting with, Tim and I had a meeting with Ann from Sternos, and then that got the ball rolling with communication with Mid-Michigan, and I am excited. I think it's gonna be a great partnership. Tim probably thought I was crazy when I came down and was kind of excited about the conversation we had, but I think it's gonna be really, really good. They are all about communication and transparency, and everything was positive from that conversation, so I'm really excited.
What was the conversation? Can you brief us on what the conversation was?
Well, started on process for billing on the cremations and how all that was gonna work. There was such a structure already in place, and we're just gonna duplicate what EG is already done with other counties. And a lot of that can be done online, so if somebody needed to apply for a cremation permit, they can do it all, apply for it, pay for it and everything, right through that portal. So that's gonna be great. Also had conversations with Phil. We were talking about some ideas on the transport situation, and we'll have more on that to come here in the near future. About some options that maybe not only benefit Ogemaw, but maybe some of our surrounding counties that have this group as their medical examiner too. So that was pretty exciting. The comments you've heard have been echoed by others in the county. Got back with me from the state police, for instance, and you know, their experiences. So it's all been very positive. On the other hand, we've had some more issues with MISFM. Even getting death certificates is becoming a challenge. And today's rationale was because they have somehow been locked out of the state system that gets all that. Well, I don't know what's happening there, but I think making immediate effect of this new contract will be the benefit of everybody in the county.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Jenny David.
Yes.
Roger Mayhew.
Yes.
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Craig Scott.
Yes.
Item 7B, resolution to authorize purchase of fingerprint equipment. This resolution is sponsored by County Clerk Brett Gilner. The State Firearms Act requires individuals who seek a concealed pistols license to request the classifiable fingerprints be taken by a county clerk, the Department of State Police, a county sheriff, a local police agency, or other entity. If the county clerk, Department of State Police, county sheriff, local police agency, or other entity provides fingerprinting capabilities for these purposes of the act. Access to the fingerprinting services for purposes other than concealed pistols licensing would prove to be a benefit to the general public and would alleviate workload at the sheriff's office. Approval of the resolution would allow for purchase of a live scan fingerprint station at the county clerk's office at a total cost not to exceed $6,990. Costs associated with the purchase would be charged to the concealed pistol fund.
Make a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
Motion from Commissioner Serbrook,
Support.
support from Commissioner Wiltie. Discussion? Commissioner Mayhew?
I talked to, I don't know what rank he holds, but the state police short, I believe. And he said that he gives them classes and they're down.
Classes. CPL classes?
CPL classes, I think.
Yes, they're considerably down. And I know the guy there that died at Rose City that sold guns, and at the end, it was way down. It's going that way, so. I asked him in his opinion, and it was just his opinion, is he wouldn't spend the money if he had it to buy the machine. So that's all I can tell you.
Any further discussion?
I think it would be providing a good service to our citizens. It's gonna be an on-demand, basically, system, one-stop shop. You know, I'm not trying to fault the sheriff's office at all, I understand, but, you know, they've got, God knows Paul's got enough stuff on his plate. You know, and if we can take something off of his shoulders to alleviate some of his duties, I guess you could say. Again, it's admirable for him to, you know, have stepped up and say, hey, we'll do it, you know, half a day, one day a week. But again, that's just so limiting to so many people. And I think it's, you know, the money's gonna come out of the CPL fund. That fund has been sitting there. They've made expenditures out of it just because the fund balance has gotten so high. You know, we're not spending general fund dollars for it, and I think it provided good service to the citizens of the county.
Other comments? Commissioner Wiltie?
I'd like to comment, I support this, I think it's, you know, a service now that we can offer to our residents more than one day a week, I think that's important. I do appreciate what Commissioner Mayhew said about, you know, Trooper Short saying classes are down right now. But for example, I have a cousin in the thumb that does these classes and his numbers are up, so. Overall, from the reading that I do, being an NRA member, I think more than ever now, people realize the importance of having a gun for their safety, the importance of being able to keep a gun and not have somebody say they can take it away from them. And I don't really see that being something that's going to consistently be going down. So I definitely support this.
Commissioner Scott?
Well, this all arises because we are having an issue getting them done at the sheriff's department. Sheriff's department now has said they can correct that. And has made efforts to schedule for it. We ask, are you sure? Because we could do this over in the clerk's office and alleviate the hassle. No, they want to do it. I'm willing to give them a chance to do it. And if it seems like it's not working, then we can go ahead and do this. But I'm trying to get along with the sheriff's department as best I can. I don't want to chop the legs out from underneath them. They say they can do it, I'll give them a chance. I mean, we got the money, yes, but just because we got the money, we don't have to spend it.
Comment.
Commissioner Wiltie?
Commissioner Serbrook, can you say again, you talked to the undersheriff regarding this?
No, I did not. No,
Okay.
I just said, no, I haven't. But I know that, and I think we all are well aware that the undersheriff's got a very full plate, and I thought that my opinion is just take one thing off. And again, they're doing it for a half a day, one day a week. Is that really servicing the citizens of Ogemaw County to force them to schedule? And I'm not taking anything away from the sheriff's office. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying here. You know, I certainly appreciate them stepping up to the plate to say that, you know, they'll do their best to provide it. I'm just trying to take some additional duties off of their shoulders. You know, I mean, they've got a lot going on, and if it's just, again, I think it would be the right thing to do for the citizens.
Anything else, Commissioner Wiltie?
Oh, we do need to keep in mind, and I don't know how many other factors of business people need to get fingerprinted, but I do know there are other areas where people need to be fingerprinted for jobs and what have you. So this is more than just for, you know, CPLs. Again, you know, half a day per week. When we have the means to do it, the money's there. I understand what Commissioner Scott said is just because we have the money, don't spend it. I think we've proved that over the last 2 years with the hard decisions we've had to make, and I actually see the direction we're heading, that we know that that's the case, but, and I think that this will also generate the money needed. I just fully support this.
And there are other areas,
Hey, guys,
I'm sorry.
thank you. Commissioner Serbrook?
There are other areas, as Commissioner Wiltie pointed out, you know, there are several different categories where people need to be fingerprinted, and it would provide service. You know, the school employees need to, there are licensing issues for other things that require fingerprints, name changes. There's a whole great big list, and Breck has the list. I don't have a list in front of me, but there's probably 20 different,
Pages,
a lot,
2 pages.
you know, so again, it's not just CPLs. But the good nice thing is the CPL fund could pay for this, so.
Well,
So, Commissioner
can I
Scott,
say,
go ahead.
when the undersheriff was here and he said that they would set this up, we didn't say at that time, we need more service than that. We said, okay. And all I'm saying is if we didn't ask for anything more at that time, now if we're gonna write them a letter and say, well, hey, look at, we talked about this and we discussed it, and we think we gotta have more than one half a day in the week. Can you provide that? And give him the opportunity to say yes or no? Then, you know,
I'd say that, but you know, we didn't ask for any more when he said that he could provide it. We should have said something then. By saying it now, I think that we're not allowing him that chance to do it.
Obviously, I think this is something we could go back and forth on. My decision is gonna be based on business. I'm a business perspective, definitely not a personal perspective, and I'm hoping you all can keep that in mind. I'm not for this. I think this is something that we should revisit in the future. We did just come up with a solution with the undersheriff. I think then to now take that away when we don't have him standing in front of us stating that he's unable to meet the public's needs at this point in time, I don't think is fair. I don't want to take this totally off the table. I think this is something we can revisit, but spending $6,990 right now when a lot of people just lost their jobs, when we don't have the undersheriff standing here telling us he's not able to do this, I don't think is fair for him. The other thing is I have a CPL. I understand a half a day is inconvenient, but if I want that CPL, which I did, I made it fit into my schedule. My other aspect of that is people who are going to get a CPL that have to walk over to the corrections department to do it. That's another safety measure. You know, maybe the sheriff's department would see something that maybe we wouldn't. I understand the inconvenience, but again, it's another safety precaution. I would like more information that they're not able to provide this service to move forward with this at this time. But again, go ahead.
Could we table this? Because
Right
it
now,
does sound like there's a lot of questions, you know. It'd really be nice for Paul to be here to answer. Which would have been, you know, we had the opportunity this past week to do that, but now it seems like that's a question.
I definitely didn't ask a question. There's a motion on the table with support. We're right now doing discussion. So if there's no other discussion on this,
He can ask the table. and let-
that's up to
no,
him.
Just go ahead.
Don't we need to vote on this first, or do we vote to table it?
So a motion to table would take precedent, and so you would vote that first.
Okay, with
Commissioner-
some of the questions we have, and this is, I understand what everybody's saying. Could we please table this to have a conversation with the undersheriff next week if he's available?
I would support Commissioner Wiltsey's motion to table.
Motion Commissioner Wiltsey, support from Commissioner Serbuk. Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Roger Mayhew,
No,
Charles Wiltie.
Yes.
Mark Serbrook.
Yes.
Craig Scott,
I would vote yes.
Jenny David.
No. Item 8, claims. We have claims for a total of $187,141.88. Commissioners Scott and Serbrook. Oh, can we have a motion first? Sorry, guys.
I'll make a motion that we pay claims.
Motion Commissioner Serbrook,
I'll support.
support from Commissioner Scott. Go ahead, Commissioner Scott.
Really, it was a higher number, but very limited number of claims, I thought. The jail housing bill for February was there from Gladwin. The Indigent Council, which costs, you know, upwards of 28,000 every month. Transit had a new hoist and was grant paid for. But that was a high number. And then insurance hit us, workman's comp hit us this month too. So we had about 4 or 5 big ticket items that added up, and then the volume of small ticket items was really kind of small, I thought. And if you look at that claims report, you'll see a lot of empty lines there. So.
Anything else, Commissioner Serbrook?
Commissioner Scott hit all my highlights that I had written down too, so we had, like he said, we had Gladwin and Eclair inmate bills. The transit hoist itself was $55,649, which was paid for by a grant, but again, it's, you know, so. And then Indigent Council, as Commissioner Scott said, was $28,590.
Roll call vote.
Charles Wiltie,
Yes.
Mark Serbrook,
Yes.
Craig Scott,
Yes.
Jenny David.
Yes.
Roger Mayhew.
yes.
Item 9, unfinished business. The only thing I was gonna add on there was NEMSCA. Commissioner Sorg, make sure you touch base. I received an email from them today. I will forward it to you.
Okay. I will contact them.
Any other unfinished business? Item 10, administrator / controllers report.
I uploaded the report early this afternoon onto the iPads. A couple of other things, though. We do have our construction projects that are gearing up. Probably going to end up doing the ADA restrooms first, the way things are stacking up. Did have some paperwork from the electrician today. They've already identified all the equipment they're going to need for lighting, and we will have an incentive payment that will be returned to the county of about $6,700. That's for just that. I'm expecting another one that would come from that boiler system when that's up and running too. And the next meeting, we are strongly encouraging our auditor to be ready with the audit presentation for committee of the whole next week. The only hesitation that I have right now is the group that's doing our OPEB report still hasn't got it done. Every time I contact them, I'm told that, oh, it'll be easy, just take a few hours, we'll have it right to you. And now I'm not getting calls returned, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But that's a component that we have to have in the audit. If it's late, we'll go through whatever hoops we need to jump through to make sure that it's that the state's alerted to that piece missing. So that's the intent anyway, to have the presentation next committee of the whole, and then at the next regular meeting, just a resolution to accept the audit, and then it gets filed with the state by the deadline, which is March 31st.
Any questions for the administrator / controller? Item 11, elected officials and department head reports. Randy, come on up, sir. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you guys. I haven't been to a meeting in a while. Come before you tonight, where one of my employees is taking another job with the state of Michigan. So I would like to ask permission to advertise for the position and post the position through the union to hire another employee
How long had your employee been with us?
since 2018.
Oh,
Yeah. But it's a good opportunity. I mean, state of Michigan pays well. They get raises every year. There's a lot of benefits.
Thanks for mentioning that, yeah.
We had our SWOT analysis. On there where no raises does affect employees, and they start looking at other options.
absolutely. Yeah, I don't foresee a issue with that. Obviously, it's needed in your department. Full-time employee?
Yes.
Comments, guys?
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
no problem. That's it.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for the positive
There's no
update.
equalization report today?
April 12th or 13th, it'd be
I think it's
an
the
April
15th.
meeting.
Our-
15th.
Oh,
Our
'cause I
taxes are
thought-
going up.
Thought the minutes reflected that.
Everybody's taxes going up.
Yeah, we see that. Any other elected officials, department head reports? Jeff, I see you're on the phone.
I don't really have anything other than I'll probably be bringing to you next month the applications for our committee positions to approve for appointment. It'll be 2 positions, so we've got 2 applications.
Thanks, Jeff. Any
Thank-
other? Go ahead.
In
Go, go get
in the cow meeting minutes from last week. At the bottom of appointments, it says Tim Dillahany explained on behalf of Randy Booth what's to expect during Randy's presentation, the equalization report set to be on the agenda March 13th.
No, it's April 15th, I think it is that.
Okay.
Tuesday.
Somebody moved up.
Any,
Fix that.
any other elected officials, department head reports?
I would like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jeez. Hello. Yes. Go ahead, clerk.
Your Ogemaw County Clerk. Couple different things. Some of the good news that came out of the conversation with Mid-Michigan yesterday, that the package that you guys chose, the revenue from the cremation permits will now go to the clerk's office. So there's a $50 charge. Mid-Michigan will get $12.50 of that, and then the clerk's office gets the rest of that revenue. And then the sample ballots for the May election were delivered today. The regular ballots, absentee ballots and all the rest, those should be in the clerk's hands, today or tomorrow. And then Tuesday, we're doing a training for testing for any clerk that wants to come to Ogemaw Township. We're gonna test Tracy's machine, test the ballots so that everybody can see how it's done. And then that's it. I also would like to thank Commissioner Serbrook and Commissioner Winsley for supporting the fingerprint. Because it is a disservice to the community to not be able to offer this. That's it.
Apologize for, and did I miss anybody else? I had a question on our iPads. We had the Ogemaw County jail statistics. Did you, the month of October was missed on there, was it?
It was. There were no reports generated for most of October, so that's just been deliberately not included here, so it's not to throw off any of these averages.
This was interesting to look at. There wasn't a huge influx from the transition from the corrections to the lockup.
Not really. And things have settled right back down. We're in the upper 30s again right now. This is data that's just generated daily, so it's no problem for me just to plug in the numbers. It takes about 5 minutes in the morning, and I think this is pretty valuable. I was really surprised at the number of, of all the charges of inmates in the jail, how many of them were court related, whether they were for missing a court date or contempt or, violation of probation and so on. But this is really consolidated. There are, I think at my last count, something like 63 or 64 different categories of arrest. So just, trying to present them in a reasonable manner that isn't overwhelming was a bit of a challenge. I think this is a very valuable planning tool for us moving forward.
I appreciate this information. The other thing I seen very positive was from the treasurer's office, the beginning balance on February 1st, 2025, and the ending balance on February 28th, 2025. That looks very positive.
Really likes on the graph, you can see the September 30th, October 1 range that we're in positive ground. So, yeah.
Good. Anything else?
Yeah, well, you mentioned that statistic there.
Which one?
Jail,
Oh, yep.
and that's one thing that I've been trying to pay attention to is the medical costs. The medical costs for the Gladwin housing was $107 for nurse doctor this month. It was $107 for the month of February. The cost of a nurse and doctor.
I missed it on here. Where was
No,
the
it's-
medical?
No, it's on the claims.
It's on claims.
It's on
Oh.
claims.
Like I looked through this
Yeah.
closely.
Yeah, no.
Just a side note,
And then the prescriptions was only like $1,400 and some of that was from January.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, I know I've mentioned this before, we were getting ready to sign $190,000
Okay.
contract. I mean, the costs are unbelievably so low. It's just unbelievable.
Matters from the floor, any? Motions for adoption? Commissioners report. Commissioner Wiltie?
This past Tuesday, we had our Mills Township meeting. It was a packed house. There was a public hearing regarding the trash service there. Somehow over the course of the last many years, the general fund has been paying for parts of the waste management trash service. That was caught. Now there's gonna be an assessment on the residents that received that. So of course, there was a lot of questions to be asked. But all in all, it was supported and gonna move forward. We know the importance of weekly trash pickup. It was too bad that happened that way, but we found it, fixed it, and moved forward. Parks and Recs, they have hired a supervisor for Parks and Recs, which is great. We all know we got some great parks and beaches over there in Mills Township. And then also, we found a new blight officer. We hired a new blight officer. Really looking forward to seeing what he's gonna be able to do, because we do know that light in Mills Township has been a problem, is a problem. And it's time now to really take this to another level and get those properties that need to be cleaned up. Had an EMS meeting prior to my opiate settlement meeting today. I could only be there for a little while because of the opiate settlement meeting, but everything's going well at EMS. We do have a few team members that have gotten injured outside of work. So therefore, that causes everybody to pick up a little more work, a little more overtime, but numbers are looking a lot better than they were 2 years ago when I first started on that board. We did have the presentation today from Stevenson and Company, which I had to leave, but I'll go through all that and be able to give a report on that next week, a little more meat and potatoes of that, but morale at EMS is good. Everything's moving forward there. Opiate settlement meeting, we've been now over a year with that. A number of us today all agreed that this was probably our most productive meeting. We've got some great momentum. We're excited about next month. We're gonna have a face-to-face, at least 2-hour meeting. We've got a lot of things to a point now where we can really take a look at some of the big hitting items and be able to really see what we have and talk about numbers. And Tim made a good point that he feels that, probably by beginning of summer, we could be ready for RFPs and possibly start really moving forward with spending some of this money. We have just under $1.1 million. Tim showed us a nice table of the amount of money that we could get up to 2037. Now, that's not all guaranteed. We know that if some of those businesses would go bankrupt, but again, I've said it before, we have a very strong committee. And I'm really looking forward to that face-to-face next month. It's really heading in a great direction. And then just one more quick thing at the EDC fundraising meeting this week. The EDC, we've got a bunch of different subcommittees. One of them is fundraising. Obviously, we all know a couple of years ago, we had to pull the line item from the EDC. It was understandable with the financial position the county was in. I just want everybody to know that the EDC is just not sitting on their heels, waiting for the possibility to try to get a little money from the county. EDC is another very strong group, and we're working on many different items to have more contact, more exposure with the townships alone for revenue, and try to create some more money from other avenues within the county. That's all I have for today.
Commissioner Scott?
Went to Foster Township the other night and they changed the time to 6 o'clock from 7 o'clock and it was still well attended. They're selling a fire truck and they're buying another one, a used one, found it over near Denver. So they're going out to take a look at it and probably buy it. They got, they're making a few small plans out there for summertime parks and trash and stuff like that. They're also, Verizon is looking at putting a tower up there again. I mean, they did this a few years ago and then bailed out, but it looks like it may happen this time. That would increase the broadband up there tremendously. Parks and Rec was this morning. We really don't have much going on right now. There'll be a cleanup at the RV park in April. Things are going well. We're closed still at the nature park because there's so much snow up there. But things are looking pretty good. Road Commission was the other day. They're looking at some different equipment questions and things like that. But all in all, pretty good. They used quite a bit of salt this year, as expected. We went to the health department, first part of the month. We haven't had a meeting since then. So Mark and I went up there to hail to that. That's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting because they're talking about the wells and the septics and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, learn a lot. So I think that about wraps up my report.
Commissioner Wiltie, who's the new ordinance officer? That's okay. I was just,
Yeah, I can get you that information.
I drove by there. Holy cow, that was a packed meeting.
Yeah, it was. There was people standing. He has a lot of experience.
Good.
He has a law enforcement background and he has a lot, I think he's gonna do a great job. I do not have his name.
No, that's okay. Commissioner Serbrook.
Attended Edwards Township. I did 2 hours and 35 minutes.
Oh, gosh.
I learned more about the job of a cemetery sexton than I ever thought I would ever know. Needless to say, that was a hot topic. The good news is they did buy a brand new tabulator, Breck. I don't know if you knew that or not, but
They ordered it that.
they purchased the new tabulator for elections, so that's a good thing. They're Bob Clayton, who does their zoning and some of their blight stuff, he's off on with some medical issues, so they were discussing how they might proceed with that until Bob comes back. It's quite serious, so. As Craig said, with Parks and Rec was this morning, we did claims, obviously. Charlie already reported on the opioid, and I'm looking really forward to this face-to-face that we're gonna have with the opioid committee. I think it's gonna be great. And we've got some great ideas. There's been a subcommittee that has worked their tails off to take and get good information for us as to where this money ought to be spent. So now we're gonna sit down and brainstorm and see if we can't come up with some areas where we can put out RFPs to take and alleviate some of the opioid, whether it's treatment or prevention or self-harm. So I think it's gonna be a good.
Just a thought I was gonna tell both of you guys. Saginaw Valley has a program. It's a 1-year program for advanced practice providers. It's for mental health, to specialize in mental health. It's a 1-year program. It's 4 semesters. Just something for you to think about as far as the shortage for what you guys are discussing. The need that's there to possibly send maybe some individuals back to school or to assist with that, because it's quite pricey. But that is a pretty near facility. It's all online. I've done a little research on it. So just a thought for you.
I talked about that a little.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
I also.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, go.
I also attended West Branch Township yesterday. They there are still issues ongoing with their final permitting for the dispensary by Walmart. They're having some issues with the applicants in regards to that, so they passed some resolutions in regards to they wanted to take and transfer the license, and that got denied along some other things. So they did an updating on their zoning administrator's job description. They approved 6 different resolutions in regards to salary increases for the supervisor, the clerk, the treasurer, the trustees, the zoning administrator, and then the transfer station coordinator and things like that. So, and they adapted a new fee schedule for their transfer station. Their prices have almost doubled in some of their bag of trash. Now 13-gallon bag went from $1 to $2. So, anyway, that was it.
Commissioner Mayhew?
Yeah, I went to Rose Township and Hill Township. Bought out Lupton Fire Department and they got a new truck. As far as I know, they got it delivered. They're working on the lights. They weren't happy with them. One of the people in Lupton got in trouble with blight. And then they found out he's commercial. Now he wants his money back. Because he's not residential. They're gonna double the price of their trash at their collection center, or whatever they call it. So then I stopped at Cummins when I left here at the last meeting. And it was over. But I got there and there was a couple ladies that were not having a good day. And I left. I don't know what they were not having a good day about, but I left. That's pretty much it.
I attended Churchill Township, and the Churchill Township Supervisor is here tonight. Thank you for coming. I was trying to recall that meeting. It's been 2 weeks ago. They talked about some updates on the hall, some fire extinguishers discussed, some of the countertops. They've done a lot of renovations. That's a very old Selkirk Hall there. It was a very, very old hall, but the group has done very, very good with their ARPA funds at doing some pretty nice updates. It's pretty nice in there if you guys are around. They've also put a outdoor what's the word I'm getting? Pavilion in for people to use right there by the river. Also, what else was, you guys passed a bunch of resolutions that were mandated. That has to be the yearly.
Poverty issues for, what's poverty?
Yes.
Taxes.
So the
Exemption.
meeting was a little lengthier than normal, but that was why they were all read word for word. There's no, Churchill does pretty well. They don't really have a lot of issues. They have a really good board with a new supervisor that's doing very well as well.
Thank you.
So I attended 911 meeting. No overtime. This upcoming month, they have 2 trainees. Biggest conversation right now is related to 800 radios / pagers with the fire departments. They have all but 3 fire departments that have the 800 radios / pagers. The previous ones don't record. So they really want all fire departments to go up to these 800s. They have the equipment over in the sheriff's department. They want to remove that equipment. Obviously, we would like them to at some point in time. But the cost, they've looked at the cost of transferring that over and updates and everything else, and it's a lot of money, between $25,000 to $50,000. So they're asking these 3 fire departments. Jesse has sent out a letter very kindly asking them to get these radios / pagers. They're not that costly. Apparently, the batteries are more costly than the radios. The departments are Mills Township, Richland / Logan, and West Branch Township. So we are now going to send them out a little bit more of an abrasive letter, and we will see where that goes. There are grants out there for this type of things. Richland and Logan, they do have a millage, but they run a pretty tight. They don't have a lot of extra cash. They're fire department over there. Oh, the other thing with which I was really surprised about, to back up, and I apologize because I'm talking about fire departments. At Churchill, they paid their fire department bill for the year to West Branch, which was $40-some thousand.
$1,400 some dollars.
I was astonished by that. But then when they said, let's talk about this in other terms, how much a fire truck costs compared to that's their annual bill to West Branch Fire Department to cover their township. So it makes sense. I was just shocked by $40,000. There was a lot of conversation about that as well. So 911 was quick. It was a quick meeting. I also attended Logan Township. That was a little bit lengthier this month. There was quite a bit on their assessor after their board of review. March 10th handed the resignation. So they are actively looking for an assessor that they're putting out for bid. What else was there? Post cemetery cleanup, lawn mowing, RFP for the lawn mowing. They're doing a kitchen wall repair. Hardwood Lake has an SAD. I think that's pretty much. Still a little bit of a learning curve over there, but they are coming together. And Nick Clark said you've been very, very helpful, Breck, to him. So he's doing much, much better. The other thing is Consumers was at, Rich Castle was at Logan Township. He was there for the EDC and he was there for Consumers. So he gave a brief presentation. We are planning a zoning meeting related to just wind / solar energy. As far as our ordinance for Ogemaw County, it's always on our agenda, but with everything else, it's typically, and that meeting doesn't start till 7 o'clock and we typically don't get out of there before 9. So we are going to have a special meeting in the very near future to further discuss in detail the wind / solar energy. That's it for me. Did you miss something?
Yeah, I did. The reason I wanted to go to Cummins is their hall is black mold and asbestos. And they're considering tearing it down.
Wow.
Oh, Mills bought my old clinic.
Yeah, I commented, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Congratulations on that. That'll be good.
Yeah, can I just.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had made a comment that they put an offer on that and that has been accepted. So yeah, the construction process will start and I mean, there's a possibility in 6 to 8 months, it could be moved into the township hall there on Greenwood Road. And I'd also like to say that the new Mills Township Board is working really, really hard. It's really great to see how hard they're working together and what they're all doing there. I'm really excited about the direction here, especially in this next 4 years as I'm commissioner, working with them, and we're gonna see a lot of great things happen in Mills Township. And then just real quick, I want to thank you. Since you've become township supervisor at Churchill, I'm very involved with things and I see you everywhere. I've said this since my first start as county commissioner. We need more involvement. We need more people to get involved and consistent involvement. So you're taking your job seriously and we need a lot more of that. And just one more thing, well, Vance, you know, this is something we had talked about back and forth. I did get a call that's coming Tuesday. I'm meeting the executive assistant in Tawas to get my iPad. And I will be all approved, set up for training on Monday, the 25th, a couple hours before our 5 o'clock meeting mark. Yes. That's it.
General public comment. Come on up, sir.
Didn't plan on.
You know the drill?
Yes.
Your name?
Ken Schnauz, Churchill Township Supervisor, but I'm speaking as Ken Schnauz. Revisiting your proposal to buy the fingerprinting machine. I appreciate your tabling it. Good to check back, but all I've heard in the paper and through the rumor mill is the sheriff's department are way understaffed. They don't have enough time to do things. And 4 hours a week out of a 40-hour week is not a lot to get things done. I have a CPL, my wife does. We jump through the hoops and all that. But I will tell you, it's very intimidating to walk into a sheriff's department to get a CPL because most sheriffs don't want citizens having guns. That's just the nature of the beast. It's one more thing that they have to face an unknown. So it is kind of intimidating. It would be much nicer if we could go to the county clerk's office and get that done. It's something for the citizens it's a convenience and it's paid too for the CPL licenses. Second thing I'll touch really quick, we had 17, I believe 17 or 18 people come to our board of review. Wow. Which is up from about 4 to 5 every year. So it was mentioned earlier, taxes have gone up and the citizens have let us know they aren't happy with it. But what are you gonna do? You know, so you are doing a great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment? Any public comment on the phone?
Gotta say, there's township people on the phone too,
There is any public comment on, they're getting the opportunity.
other than
right
just the
now.
one you know.
Any further public comment on the phone? Motion to adjourn?
Yep.
Support, all in favor?
All right.
Motion adjourned.
Yep.
Have a good night, guys.
Any closing minutes?
Yep.